where the Cycle Frontier, Dark and Darker, and Star Siege Dead Zone failed. Out of the ashes of that bullshit comes a gaming title that is just beautiful and will be some serious competition for Hunt Showdown. That is, of course, Hunger.
Going nearly.
One
Nice,
down.
nice.
There's another one.
Greg,
Close the door. Close the door.
closing.
Do you need some heal?
Another one.
Reloaded, coming. I missed. Oh, don't forget the other team.
Can you help me?
Yeah.
Got them. They're dead.
Nice.
So in this video, by the way, excuse the horrible background sound. My laptop, I need to get a new one. It's kind of on its last legs. So I apologize for the horrendous background noise you're going to be hearing throughout the rest of this video. But I want to talk about why Hunger, I think, is going to be a massive fucking success. And what better place to start than the first missive that the Hunger team released today. A missive is basically going to be like a little update. So, Missive 1, Health, on medicine and the cost of staying alive. Hello, Living. This marks the beginning of our missives, a series of focused insights into the design of Hunger and its systems. We'll be releasing new missives regularly, helping to better acquaint you with the world after the end. I'm a big fan of this. I was very upset that after I saw Psycho Ghost's PvP video that had a little bit of exclusive PvP footage in that there just wasn't more marketing for this fucking game. It's so epic. All the videos they've released are fucking awesome. So I was pissed that there wasn't more marketing, but now we get this, so it's all right. Everything's right in the world. Every wound tells a story. In Hunger, survival is measured not by what you avoid, but by how well you recover. Today's missive looks at the systems that govern health, healing, and the fragile space between life and death. The nature of health. Your health represents the living body's final measure of endurance, so I'm just going to skim through this now. Basically, what this comes down to is everybody has 100 health. Fucking love this. Let's talk about Dark and Darker, The Cycle, and Dead Zone Star Siege, or Star Siege Dead Zone. The thing that went wrong with this, and I made a video in the past specifically talking about Star Siege Dead Zone, and maybe even The Cycle, and what has caused me to leave each and every single one of these fucking games eventually. And it's very sad to say, because initially there's so much hype, it was so cool, so exciting. Love each of the themes, right? Cycle Frontier, like the aliens. Love the idea of going down. I love the instant queue times, it was fucking awesome. I love Dark and Darker, the magic, dark fantasy. But like where all these things went wrong is that you could boost the amount of health you had. It became a gear competition, which is not fucking fun for me. Like, that is not what I enjoy. Okay? I like the Hunt Showdown model of approaching PvP extraction shooters where everybody has the same amount of health. Look at this. Hunger's adopting that. Fucking awesome. And you're basically balancing all the guns around that health. And you also have abilities. So Hunt Showdown doesn't focus so much on abilities, like you do have traits, so there's some of that. It's not so much to the effect of, like, let's say Star Siege Dead Zone, or let's say Dark and Darker, or for example Hunger. Each player character, if you don't know this, by the way, go look at Psycho Ghost's video where he breaks down a lot of the different characters' abilities. Not every single one of them, but a lot of them. So everybody has different abilities, and you can level up these abilities as you prestige your character. So it's kind of around that. But even those abilities aren't something you're going to be popping off a lot of the time. So they're not even that game changing. Like, let's say Star Siege Dead Zone, where you could put up like a bubble shield or something. That was a lot cooler, a little bit more arcadey, which I didn't mind. But basically what I'm saying here is everybody has 100 health. Very awesome. Nothing worse than you starting the game, going into a lobby, and then there's somebody who's been grinding longer, and they're just, in full purple or legendary, mythic, whatever the fucking title is, gear. And it doesn't matter how you play, because it doesn't matter. Like, they just have better gear than you. Like, that's such a shitty feeling. When I play Hunt Showdown, even somebody with the worst weapon can go toe-to-toe with somebody with the best weapon. Because it's not about that, right? You can headshot people, they die. Now, I know Hunger isn't going to have that same exact formula, right? Certain guns, they can headshot you if you have no armor on. Now, I don't mind the armor, okay? I don't mind the armor because the shit's not really fast-paced. You know, some guns are repeating. They can fire, you know, multiple shots, like 4 shots, like within a relatively quick succession. But they're balancing that by lowering the damage that those shots do compared to, let's say, the single-shot muskets that take, you know, a fuck ton of the person's health or armor away. I love that. And it seems like there's going to be more of an emphasis on melee weapons in general, which is really sick. Now let's keep going. So something else that's awesome is around this 100 health, a finite resource, love that can only be restored through medical intervention. And the 2 primary ways that you can restore your health are repeated use items and single use consumables. So, the repeated use items are going to be these blood bags. The blood bags are something that heals very slowly, but continually, and you can use them as much as you want. So that's the trade-off. You don't run around with the resource. You can use it as much as you want. However, at least I don't think you can. I don't see anywhere here that says you run out of the blood. But it's very, very slow, which is pretty annoying, right? And I'll show you some. I'll include a clip here so you can see how annoying this shit is. It's pretty fucking annoying. It's so fucking slow. Granted, if you get higher tiers of blood bags, they do heal you faster, so that's cool. I love that. And I hope to God that it's just a button you can push, and you don't have to hold the fucking button down. Please don't do that to us. Hunger team, please don't fucking do that to us. I don't want to have to click and hold the fucking button down to heal and just sit in a corner holding my fucking finger down. I know, what a first world problem in our video games. So I like this trade-off. The very, very slow speed, kind of annoying, but I think with the different rarities of blood bags, and also with different, I imagine, traits, because there's different skill trees, or perks, if you want to call them. There's different skill trees, like, I think physiology was one of them. There's different trees that give different effects, and one of them has a big focus on survivability. So I imagine there's going to be perks to help also increase that amount of healing speed, maybe by 10% or something like that, which is a world of difference when it's already slow as fuck. So that's awesome. But then you also have these ampules, and these are going to be the single-use consumables, so you can only use them one time, and they heal way more quickly, and I imagine for more health, perhaps. It would be really annoying if it heals quickly, but it only heals a little bit, but it heals a little bit quickly. Like, that's a little too hardcore for me. I would still bite the bullet because the game would still be, you know, super fucking awesome, but that would be pretty annoying. In a perfect world, I would like it to heal a lot and heal a lot quickly. The caveat with this, though, is that if you are interrupted by taking any sort of damage, the healing's canceled and the fucking consumable's wasted. That's awesome. I like that hardcore element of that. So you have to be in cover. You have to be, you know, taking, or not taking any fire, any damage. Like that. That's really, really cool. And that's it. That's one little glimpse into the mechanics and systems that Hunger is going to have for us regarding healing, which I really, really love this. Like, this is such a positive sign because there's not going to be this power creep. Like, that is the most annoying thing ever. And there's going to be no wipes. That's what they said in one of the posts or videos or something, which is also a really, really great sign. If there's no wipes, to me, that implies either extreme, you know, negligence or ignorance, naivety, or, which is more likely the case, you're going to have great balancing, again, around the health. And it doesn't seem like your armor is going to give such an increase, you know, if someone has like purple or whatever, let's say orange is the highest tier, orange going up against white, like it seems like the armor is going to be better, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to be so much better where like something like Dark and Darker, where if you have white and someone has orange, like, you're just fucking dead. Like, that's it, you're done. It seems like there's going to be more of a balancing with that, and that is definitely my hope. I think when games balance around gear tiers, that is when we start having a lot of problems, because if you take that gear into a lobby and it has people that don't have the same gear, you just wipe the floor with them, and that's fun for you, but it's not fun for the other player, which sucks. Instead, I think it's much better to balance around the actual gameplay loop, and yes, have powerful weapons, but maybe they're rare to get, but they're not like game-breaking weapons. They're not going to one-shot people in white gear. Like, there's trade-offs. Like, yes, it's good, right? Maybe it has a higher magazine pool. Maybe higher magazine pool, and it fires more fucking rounds before having to reload, right? Almost like a drum kit. I know there's some guns that can fire 4 shots before having to reload, and it's kind of like a clip sort of thing, which is pretty cool. So I think balancing that, or the guns in that way, prevents them from being these fucking killing machines, and it puts more of an emphasis on leveling your player up, prestiging, advancing your progression, looting, and having engagements, battles, but not having that just get out of control, right? Again, with the gear, like, when the gear is mismatched. Okay, I'm gonna give you a perfect example of this. Back to Hunt Showdown. If I am playing Hunt Showdown and I have a Mosin or like a Lebel, very expensive weapon, it's like $500, $600 dollars in that game's economy, and I'm going up against somebody with a Springfield, which is like $40, they can headshot me. And I think they changed it so there's like infinite headshot distance, so it doesn't matter if they shoot me from across the map. If they hit my head, I'm fucking dead. If they hit me twice in the chest, I'm fucking dead. That Springfield is medium ammo, so this is also something else they can kind of balance around. If Hunger wanted to take a page out of Hunt Showdown's kind of system, it's like maybe different ammunition allows more damage to travel further. So maybe up to 100 meters, you do full damage. But maybe if you have like basic ammo, that drop off, starts at like 60 meters. Then maybe you lose 20% of your damage, and then 70 meters, 25, and then 8, something like that. So it's like different ammo, more expensive ammo can keep the damage over a long distance, or perhaps, that's just one idea, right? So like, anyway, back to the example. If I'm playing against a player that has a Springfield, they can only shoot one time before a relatively quick reload. They can 2-shot me to the chest, headshot me, kill me. I'm using the Lebel, which has we'll use that, keep it to that example. The Lebel has, I think, like 10 reserve ammo before you have to reload one bullet at a time, and then kind of chamber the fucking whatever, the bolt. So I can keep sending rounds downrange, relatively quickly, without having to replenish my entire magazine, because I have 10 spare bullets. So that's 10 shots before I have to then single shot reload up to the 10 again. I'm doing more damage compared to the Springfield, but it's pretty close. I think the Rebel is like maybe around 142. I'm just making shit up here. And the Springfield might be 132 or 130, maybe 136. So right there, right? Lebel, massively increased price, maybe a little bit more damage. There's a lot of benefits there, but it's not game breaking, right? If I have a Springfield, I'm fighting Lebel people, I'm not like, oh fuck, it's over, there's nothing I can do. And that is exactly the feeling you got when you played Dark and Darker, the Cycle Frontier, Star Siege Dead Zone. If they had a higher gear tier, you're just fucked. You're just like, cool, I gotta run away now. That's not fun. You're having less fights. It also is so much more frustrating when you die, because you're like, cool, nothing I could have done there. Like, that's such a shitty feeling. Whereas in Hunt Showdown, when you die, you know exactly why you died. And that's kind of part of the magic. It's like, cool, I know exactly what I died. Like, next time, and when I'm in that exact situation, I'm going to fucking not do that. All right, I'm going to do the opposite, or I'm going to change this little thing. You get better and better and better over time because you're learning from your mistakes because you know exactly how you died. So I really love that they're not going to have wipes. That makes me very hopeful for the fact that there's not going to be this crazy fucking intense power creep. And it seems like it is going to be centered around having fights where anybody can participate in the fight. And yeah, you can get better weapons, cooler weapons, but it doesn't seem like that's going to break the game. It doesn't seem like that's just going to automatically just make you win because you have this fucking weapon. And that's awesome. Because it's like, yeah, you beat this boss, you grinded this dungeon to get this weapon, to get this armor. And it's great. It is going to help you, but it's not going to make you invulnerable. It's not going to fucking completely save your life. It's going to give you an edge, but you still got to play smart. You still got to land your shots. And you can still die. Right? It's just nice to have. And I would also like an emphasis on cosmetics being a thing that is focused on like why you're grinding these dungeons. Like a big part of that is like to get these cool cosmetics. Maybe tools, maybe more items, more rare not items, but like materials, more rare materials. My main thing that I just don't want to see again is just this gear discrepancy. Like that I think kills these games. Like yes, you're always going to have a base that just hardcore grinds, but that doesn't keep the whole fucking game alive. Like the Psycho Frontier died. Star Siege Dead Zone died. It had to literally become a whole different fucking game. It's like a co-op or solo dungeon crawler basically, where you try to go as high as you can, which is shitty. So I think that this is ultimately the thing that kills those games and just deters a lot of people because it's just fucking annoying. It's just annoying to go up against people that have higher gear than you. In Hunt Showdown, it works because it doesn't. A lot of things are single shot. You know, you can't. It's not. There's like one fully automatic weapon, a couple semi-automatic weapons. You know, there's shotguns, but everything's balanced around static health and not crazy amounts of damage. And I think that is the sweet spot. When you can get that down, then everything is centered around the gameplay loop, leveling up your characters, grinding for economy so you can have an abundance of resources, but those resources aren't going to tip the scales and just give you an overpowering edge. You know, they're helpful, they're useful, which is awesome, exactly where it should be, but doesn't break the game. Doesn't just allow you to wipe the floor with people. And, you know, also having a focus on abilities and like traps, consumables, grenades, like then it becomes about the fight. Then it becomes about the loop, right? The grind, the scavenging, the looting, and that's awesome. When that becomes the center point, you just have endless replayability. You come back time and time again because you always have a shot. It doesn't matter if you can, you know, you're only kind of like a casual gamer and you work a 9 to 5 and you just want to play on the weekends or something with your friends. Like, you still can have a great time because it doesn't matter if they grinded some fucking dungeon and they have, you know, crazy orange gear. Like, yeah, it's gonna give them a little edge, but, you know, hopefully, right? We have yet to see if this is gonna be how it is. But hopefully, it's not something where it's just like one shots you if you're in white, like, you know. That's not gonna be fun. So, I think as long as they do that, and it seems like they're on track to do that or get at least very, very close to that. And if they're open to player feedback and to honing more in on that, like make the gameplay loop in the battles the focus and not getting a bunch of gear the focus, I think then this game will have insane longevity and will be a huge contender for Hunt Showdown. I mean, that is why I have just about 4,000 hours in Hunt Showdown, and it keeps me coming back again and again and again to play that. It's because it's not about fucking gear, right? It's about going in and fighting over a resource, the bounty token, and then getting out. Like, there's a goal. Get the resource, get out, and there's fighting along the way. The goal for Dark and Darker, the Psycho Frontier, Star Siege Dead Zone is get better gear, then you can kill everybody and feel like hot shit, and there's nothing they can do about it. And that's just like, that's like a bully's favorite fucking mentality, and it's just shit for everybody else, especially casual gamers. It really only rewards people hyper focused on grinding that just sink a ton of time into the game. And yeah, you do make money. Yeah, there is awesome content from those people, but then the game eventually slowly dies the fuck out because nobody wants to play that. Like, the average fucking consumer just doesn't have time to sink that much time into the fucking game. It's super, super annoying. So that's my take on this. Let me know your thoughts. Comment below. Smash the like button on your way out. Subscribe if you want to see more content on Hunger. I'm going to be providing updates on every little one of these missives that come out from the team. Any gameplay that comes out, I might comment on that. Definitely will be making content on the missives. And I plan on streaming and making content for the game when it hits early access release. There's also going to be a playtest, I believe, in November, which I'm trying to get in on. So stay tuned for that. And, of course, I'm going to be making content for Hunt Showdown in the meantime and streaming every day for that. So there will be a link for that in the description to follow me on Twitch if you want to catch me on the stream, say hello, look at some of my epic deaths and fails. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.